In this video, I'm going to be discussing what I call market orientation. Market orientation is the art of any technical analysis. For those that are professional traders, they consider the market orientation before they dabble into entering any trade. What do I mean by market orientation? Market orientation is like based on the methodology of Wyckoff, is an analysis that give you the picture of the predominant stance of the market at any point in time. And it's very important that you know the exact market orientation of any currency pair or asset that you want to trade. For instance, suppose you pick a pair now, let's say AUD-JPY. It is very important for you to take a decision or for you to establish the phase that AUD-JPY is as a market. What do I mean? What am I talking about? AUD-JPY is your pair of interest. You need to now ask yourself, is AUD-JPY in an accumulation phase? Or is AUD-JPY in a markup stage or phase? Markup phase. This is what we call uptrend. Or is AUD-JPY in a distribution phase? Or is AUD-JPY in a markdown phase, which is what we know as a downtrend? Before you can take a position in your choice of currency pair AUD-JPY now, as the example we are using, you need to look at the market from a broader perspective and decide or ascertain, because it will be clear if you say that AUD-JPY is in an accumulation phase in Nigeria. If anybody look at the same market anywhere in the world, they should be able to come up with the same conclusion about AUD-JPY, as at the same time you are coming up with the decision that AUD-JPY is in an accumulation phase. This is very central, because if you don't do that, even when your strategy has the potential to deliver results, it might mean that you will be caught in the wrong move of the market because your perspective of the market is wrong. Let me give you an example. Let me quickly draw something that will make all of this to make a bit of sense to you. Now, suppose AUD-JPY is doing something like this. Watch this now. Suppose AUD-JPY is doing something like this. Now, this particular orientation is what we call accumulation phase. Accumulation phase. You say, let's say accumulation phase, ACC. So if you look at the broader perspective of the market and note the market orientation of any market is best viewed on the monthly chart. Let me repeat that. The market orientation of any asset or currency pair is best viewed from the monthly chart. So when you open to your monthly chart, you see that the monthly chart is doing something like this, then you should know that AUD-JPY, now for instance, let's assume this is AUD-JPY in real terms. It means that AUD-JPY is in an accumulation phase. Note that this was coming from an uptrend, from a downtrend rather, and AUD-JPY now enter an accumulation phase. Is not making any other lower low. You see, is now making like parallel low and parallel high. That is accumulation. If this is the orientation of the market, you can now apply your strategy, knowing fully whether if you are here, the likelihood that market will get to this point and still reverse is high. So it will give you a professional consciousness of the next move of the asset you are trading. Now, suppose when you view the monthly chart, you saw something like this, that there was a breakout and the market is doing something like this. This is what we call markup, and this is an uptrend. So if you see this, in fact, it is advisable that if you want to trade, because it is best to follow the trend, it's best that you trade where there is a markup or a markdown, clear markup or clear markdown. An example of clear markup is what gold has been doing over the past few years. Is just on an upward trend. That is a clear markup. So immediately you open to monthly charts on gold and you see something like this, you already have the idea of the market orientation of gold now being an asset. Suppose this AUDJPY we are using as an example, you open the monthly chart and you saw something like this. So it will be clear that the market orientation of AUDJPY is in a markup, which means an upward trend. Now, we are not saying that you will just enter a buy trade because you saw that the orientation is in a markup. It's just to keep you in check. It's going to give you a perspective of what the market has the tendency to do predominantly looking forward. Now, as the market moves, suppose you now get to a time that the market could not make any higher high. The market get to this place, it reverses. It get to this place, it did not break below, there was not a break below. It reverses again. Something like this is what we call distribution. Distribution, accumulation, uptrend or markup. Then suppose you now open the market and you saw this. It will be obvious that, okay, you cannot just play a buy and assume that everything will be going up. There is need for you to take consciousness of where is the major resistance and major support, such that, in fact, it will give you an idea of where to take your profit. In some cases, if you are trading a distribution phase market or a market with a distribution orientation, you will have the idea of where you are likely to take your profit, even if you are trading in a range. Are you getting it now? So suppose the market now, after this distribution, you now have something like this, a break below, and you have a downward trend. This is what we call markdown. Now, these are the likely orientation of the market, and it's very important that before you do any analysis, whether you are using indicator, whether you are trading on 1 minute chart, is very central that you check the market orientation, because whatever time frame you want to trade with, when you are trading in the direction of the market orientation, you have the likelihood, or you are in a better chance of having a positive outcome or a win trade. Now, after you have done all of this, that is when you can now proceed to say, okay, what is now the directional bias? Now, this is not directional bias. Don't get this twisted. Market orientation, because this is usually done on the monthly chart. This is not where you do your market, directional bias. Monthly chart is meant for you to do market orientation. Of course, in this channel, I'm going to be uploading subsequent videos that will dissect each of these things so that you can have a clearer understanding of what we are talking about, and you'll be able to trade from a professional standpoint. Now, to cap it all, what I'm saying is, before you do any technical analysis as a trader, as an investor, there's need for you to ascertain the market orientation, such that if they ask you what is the orientation of the market, is the market accumulating, is the market in a distribution, is the market in a markup or uptrend, or is the market in a downtrend or a markdown? You'll be able to say explicitly that as of today, or as of this week or this month, the market is in a distribution phase, or the market is in an accumulation phase, or the market is in a markdown phase. I believe this will help somebody, anyone that wants to really trade like a professional. There's need for you to take cognizance of the market orientation at any point in time before you dabble into your technical analysis. Thank you for listening. God bless you.